presentation. Okay, so Module 6, Leadership. So good afternoon. Objectives for this module. At the end of the presentation, students would be able to define leadership, list the characteristics of a leader, discuss the principles involved in leadership, and be knowledgeable to the history of leadership, identify historical and modern leaders, explain the different theories and approaches of leadership. Okay, so how would we define leadership? Pag ba narinig niyo yung salitang leadership, so paano niyo siya bibigyan ng kahulugan? Ano? Pag nagli-lead, mga tao nagli-lead, leader yun. Leader yun. Ang tinatanong ko, leadership. What is leadership? Ano ba ibig sabihin ng leadership? Na kapag na-fulfill mo yung definition ng leadership, ang tawag sa'yo leader. Madalas natin naririnig yung salitang leader. Diba? Madalas sa politika, pero hindi lang sa politika. Sa lahat ng aspeto ng buhay ng isang tao, maririnig natin yung salitang leader. Sa ating society, sa social networks natin, may mga leaders. Okay, sa school, may leaders. Sa mga private companies, may leaders. Mga non-government organizations, may leader. So, what does leadership means? Ito ba ay iba sa manager? Iba ba ito sa tinatawag na supervisor? So, ano ba talaga yung leader? Sabi nga, kagaya ng mga salitang love, democracy, and freedom, ang leadership daw maraming definition. It is one of the most sought after words. Okay? Isa rin siya sa mga salita na madalas naaabuso. Bakit? Kasi yun nga, dahil sa marami siyang definition. Hanggang sa ngayon, wala pang particular definition ang leadership. Okay? Ang leadership daw hanggang sa ngayon, pinagdedebatehan pa kung ano talaga yung eksaktong meaning o kahulugan ng salitang leadership. And when you read leadership books, okay, hindi yung leadership na directing you on how to become a leader, but books that pertains to the leadership practice, theories and practices. So, yun, makikita nyo that there is an evolution of the definition of leadership. Okay? So, tingnan natin kung ano yung mga definition na yun. Okay? Okay. So, according to Moore, 1927, okay, leadership daw is the ability to impress, hindi not impress, but impress the will of the leader on those led and induce obedience, respect, loyalty, and cooperation. When we say impress, parang alam mo yun, yung ini-imprenta, tinatatak. So, yun daw ay ability ng isang tao o ng leader na maitatak yung kanyang kagustuhan sa kanyang mga followers o mga nililed. Okay? Para makapag-generate ng obedience, respect, loyalty, and cooperation. So, di ba? Yan yung definition ng leadership noong 1927. So, ano napapansin nyo sa definition ng leadership na yan? May napapansin ba kayo? Sa pamantayan ng pangkasalukuyang panahon, 2021, ano yung napapansin nyo sa definition ng leadership noong 1927 ni Moore? Diba? Madalas na sa Twitter, sa Facebook, diba, pag may mga nagpo-post or nagko-comment or nagre-react sa certain statement ng ibang tao, di ba? Sinasabi nila, it's 2020 na, yan pa rin yung ano mo, yan pa rin yung way of thinking mo. So sa pamantayan ng kasalukuyang panahon, what can you see or what can you notice about the definition of leadership in 1927? Ano yung napapansin ninyo or pwede ninyong i-react? Meron ba? O sa tingin nyo, tama lang naman sir yung definition eh. Wala namang mali. So ano sa palagay nyo? Meron bang gusto sumagot? Oh. Hindi naman tayo graded recitation. Baka may gusto sumagot. Or pwede rin naman graded recitation para may sumagot, di ba? So what do you think? So, tanong ko, sagot ko, ganun ba yon? Monologue na naman tayo. Okay? Okay, sige. Anong napapansin mo sa definition?
Ano po ba yung ano po ba yung tinutukoy ng leadership na ngayong ano,
Na?
ngayong 2020?
Hindi, I mean, di ba, we have meron tayong sarili nating definition ng leader, di ba? Ay, ng leadership. Di ba? We have our own definition ng leadership. And sa pamantayan ngayon, hindi ko sinabing definition ng leadership sa panahon ngayon. Ang sabi ko lang, sa pamantayan ng society ngayon, ano yung napapansin nyo doon sa definition ng leadership noong 1927? Diba? Ano ba ang pamantayan ng ating society ngayon? Diba? We value more on democracy, diba? On freedom. So, what can you say about the definition? Kumbaga, hindi tayo nakakahon sa mga makalumang ideas na hindi naman tama. Well, this is a definition of leadership. Kaso, no, 1927 nga lang. So ang tanong, may mali ba sa definition na to?
Military lang po, sir.
Walang mali. More on military. Yes. Yes. Oo.
Ano, sir, yung ano. Sige lang,
Ano yun? Ituloy niyo.
yung ano, sir, parang in-emphasize yung ano, yung relation sa kanyang, yung in-emphasize po ay yung relation sa mga sinasabi.
Okay. So sa pamantayan natin ngayon, di ba, sabi ko nga, karamihan ng mga tao ngayon, lalo ng mga kabataan, they have their own concept of things. Meron silang kanya-kanyang definition na batay sa panahon natin ngayon, sa modern times. Diba? Kaya nga, yung mga issues regarding, let's say, mga trabaho na panlalaki lang before, pinapasok na ng mga babae ngayon. So, hindi na siya bago para, or hindi siya big deal para sa mga kabataan. Pero, big deal pa rin siya sa mga tinatawag nating boomers. O yung mga pinanganak ng before 1985. Yung mga boomers na tinatawag. Or yung mga generations ng tatay ko. Okay? So, ayun. So dito, ang problema kasi dito, sa leadership definition na ni Moore, yan, yung salitang impress the will of the leader to induce obedience, respect, loyalty, and cooperation. Ang pinakano dyan yung impress the will of the leader. So ibig sabihin, sabi ko nga, di ba, yung translation ko is itatak yung kagustuhan ng leader doon sa mga tagasunod niya. So parang, okay, tanggapin mo kung ano man yung gusto ko, tanggapin mo. Dahil ako leader mo, kung ano sabihin ko, yun ang gagawin mo. Okay, no questions asked. Walang bakit-bakit. Gawin mo lang. Basta, ito yung gusto ko, pero dapat, sundin mo ako, respeto mo ako, maging loyal ka sa akin, at makipag-cooperate ka sa akin. Okay. So anong mayroon? Meron tinatawag na coercion. Sa pilitan, pinilit. Diba? Ibig sabihin walang freedom yung followers or those who are led. Walang freedom. Okay? That is 1927. Next. According to Hemphill, 1949, leadership is being defined as the behavior of an individual while involved in directing group activities. Okay. So, kung makikita nyo, napakalaking difference ng definition from 1927 to 1949. Diba? So, 1947, yung will ng leader ang dapat masunod. While 1949, ang leadership ay behavior ng isang individual o ng isang tao habang siya ay involved sa pag-direct na isang group activity. Okay? So, yan yung 1949. Then, 1950s. So meaning 1950 hanggang mga 1959 nag-start yung ganitong definition ng leadership. So noong 1950s, leadership daw ay isang relationship. It is a relationship that develops shared goals which define leadership based on behavior of the leader. Yun.
Ha?
Ingay ni Brian.
Ano pa ako paggabi?
Yun. So from 1949 that leadership is a behavior. Ingay nga ni Brian. Ayun. Sabi ko nga, from 1949 na ang leadership ay behavior ng isang individual directing group activities. So pagdating ng 1950s, ito ay naging relationship. Relationship that develops shared goals. Okay? Na based sa behavior ng leader. So, inadapt yung definition or inintegrate, hindi naman inadapt, inintegrate yung definition ng 1949 at the same time, nag-inject ng panibagong idea on what leadership is. Okay. So, 1927, leadership is the will of the leader. 1949, leadership is a behavior or the behavior of an individual directing group activities. Then 1950s, leadership is a relationship that develops shared goals based on the behavior of the leader. Okay? May kasunod pa? Meron. So 1960s naman. So it is defined as acts by person which influence other persons in a shared direction. So by 1960, it is according to Seaman that leadership naman is defined as influence. By influence. By influence, something that affects the an individual towards decision making. Diba? So, ayan. Kung mapapansin nyo, iba-iba ng definition bawat kasi bawat decade. Okay? So 1960 siya ay influence. Okay? Okay. So actually meron pa yung kasunod. By the following decades, leadership is defined as a process. Diba? So, ang dami. So, ano ba talaga? Ano ba talaga yung dapat nating gamitin na definition ng leadership? Okay? So, despite the multitude ways of which leadership has been conceptualized and defined, okay, the following components can be identified as central to the phenomenon of leadership or to the ideas. So leadership is a process. Leadership involves influence. Leadership occurs in groups. Leadership involves common goals. Okay? Okay. So dahil dyan, ang ating definition is leadership is a process whereby an individual influences a group of individuals to achieve a common goal. Okay? So, nandyan yung apat na elements or anong tawag doon? Concepts na present dun sa mga different definitions and conceptualization of leadership. So it is a process. Bakit siya process? Okay? Kasi uh, siya ay may mga pinagdadaanan na procedure, step-by-step na processes para ang isang tao ay makahikayat, maka-influensya, okay, ng group of people. Siyempre, paano ka magiging leader kung wala ka namang i-lead, kung walang group of people or group of individuals. Okay? And siyempre, ano yung dahilan para umpisahan mo ang isang proseso na makapag-impluensya ka ng isang grupo ng mga tao kung wala ka naman dahilan? That is to achieve the common goal. Ano ba yung goal? So, mamaya sa discussion natin sa principles of leadership and characteristics of a leader. Ano ba yung goal na tinatawag dyan? Okay? Okay, so again, this will be our definition of leadership. So, it is a process where an individual influences a group of individuals to achieve common goals. Influences, kasi there are different ways on how to influence group of people. We can influence other people by our example, by our words, by our commitment to a particular goal or particular subject or organization. So, yan. Mga paraan ng pag-influence ng mga tao. Okay? So, characteristics of a leader. Okay. So, kanina, binanggit natin yung common goals. Okay. And usually, the common goal is something that the leader has set. Sinet ito ng leader. So, ano yun? It is usually the vision and mission. Diba? Ang bawat organization may vision and mission. Sino nagseset nito? Yung mga leaders ng organization. Okay. And that being said, so a leader must have a vision and acts as a visionary. Okay. So, una, kailangan may vision siya. Ano yung vision? It is something that we aim to achieve. Okay? It is something that the leader aim to achieve. Yun yung kanyang goal. Yun yung kanyang objective. Yung vision na yun. That is what the leader dreams. Okay? And syempre, kapag may vision si leader, it is the job of the leader to influence the followers to pursue the vision that he or she sets. Okay? How about acting as a visionary? Okay. When we say visionary, okay, part ng pagiging visionary, yung pagkakaroon ng vision. At the same time, being a visionary means being an individual with the capability of looking forward. Okay? Looking forward. So what does looking forward means? Okay? Looking forward, we can equate it with the word foresight. F-O-R-E-S-I-G-H-T. GHT, foresight. Okay. And when we say foresight, ito yung ability, kakayahan ng isang tao na makita yung mga possible scenarios, possible future scenarios. And being a visionary is the same, having foresight. And a leader who has a foresight, who has a good foresight, okay, can bring the organization to greater lengths. Okay? Sa malayong mararating ng isang organization kung ang kanyang leader ay may vision at isang visionary. Okay? So, example na ganitong leader. So we have Steve Jobs. So siya ay kinoconsider siya isang leader. Okay? Diba leader siya ng kanyang company before. Okay? Ano yung kanyang vision? Okay? Ang vision niya before ay makapag-produce ng isang technology wherein it not only serves as a mobile phone but also a mini computer. Thus, the iPhone was born. Diba? The first iPhone. And yung vision niya hindi natatapos doon. Okay? He also envisioned the evolution of that product. Hanggang nga sa na-design niya yung Apple 5. I think Apple 5 was the last design or the last model designed by Steve Jobs. Okay? And nagpatuloy yung vision sa kanyang company kahit siya ay hindi na siya yung leader or hindi na siya yung may hawak ng mataas na katungkulan doon sa kanyang company. Diba? Nagpatuloy yung vision na yun. Though the vision evolves. Okay? Yung original vision pa rin ay part pa rin siya nung kasalukuyang vision. Okay? Then, number 2 characteristic is being a leader articulates purposes and goals. Okay? So, that means, idamay na natin yung number 9. Communicates effectively. So, a leader must have good communication skills. Not only by speech, okay, but also in writing. Okay. So that the leader can articulate, can verbalize, can communicate kung ano yung mga purposes, mga goals na kanyang isineset sa company, sa organization na dapat ma-achieve. Dapat ito ay ma-communicate niya, ma-articulate niya sa kanyang mga followers. By means of words, by means of actions, by means of words either by speaking or by writing. Okay? So, kailangan articulate. Ang RT ba, kailangan articulate? Siyempre, kailangan articulate tayo. Kasi how would we communicate with our patients kung hindi tayo articulate? Diba? So, yung mga mahihain dyan, kailangan articulate tayo. Pero yung mga maarte dyan, alam nyo na, ma-articulate na kayo. Okay? So, next, problem solver. Ayun, and zero. Ano yung zero? Okay, problem solver. So a leader should be a problem solver. Okay? That means that individual, the leader, can solve problems. Okay? Can pacify unrest. Okay? Can understand dissent. Okay? Kasi by understanding dissent, okay, saka masusolusyonan kung ano man yung mga bagay na kung saan yung followers ay may dissent or may reklamo or may ayaw doon sa certain policy na ipinatutupad. Okay? Then of course, recognize accomplishments. Accomplishments nino. Siyempre, number one, accomplishments ng organization. But nonetheless, a leader should be able to recognize the accomplishments of each of their followers. Kaya nga, give unto Caesar what is to Caesar. Give unto God what is to God. That means, okay, giving due to the right person. Okay. Kung ang dahilan ng pagiging successful ng isang project ay si RadTech A, so recognize RadTech A accomplishments. Diba? Hindi pwede na ang leader magseselo sa accomplishment ng kanyang follower. Why? Because the accomplishment of the follower should be seen as the accomplishment of the leader. Kasi ang accomplishment ng follower, accomplishment ng buong organization. Okay? So there should be no room for envy. Okay? Or jealousy. Then, a leader should be ethical and empathetic. Ethical. So sa lahat ng bagay, kailangan ethical ang leader. The leader should follow the basic ethics or ethical principles. Okay? And empathetic, of course. Kailangan marunong makiramdam ang leader. Okay? Alam niya kung ano yung nararamdaman ng kanyang mga followers. Okay? By putting themselves in the feet of their followers. Okay? And being empathetic will greatly contribute to the attainment of the common goals. Okay? Whatever the reason is, kapag ang isang leader ay empathetic, kung ano mang reason, kung ano man yung dahilan para ikaw ay magpakita ng empathy sa iyong follower, ay malaki pa rin ang mabe-benefit not only ng company or ng organization, at the same time, malaki pa rin yung mabe-benefit mo as a leader. Okay? The number 6, knowledgeable but admits when they do not have all the answers. Okay. So, of course, a leader should be knowledgeable. Kasi kung hindi naman knowledgeable ang leader, how would the followers trust the leader, di ba? Pero, when we say knowledgeable, it does not mean that the leader should also be arrogant, na alam ko lahat. Ito kaya kong gawin, yan kaya kong gawin, lahat kaya kong gawin. Kasi ako yung leader. Diba? Kaya nga, it is also a good characteristic of a leader that the leader can admit things that they don't know. Diba? Kaya if your leader is someone that when you ask and hindi niya alam kung anong sagot at sinabi sa'yo na I'm sorry, I don't know the answer yet, but give me a day or two and I'll get back to your question. So, it is a sign that your leader is responsible enough uh, to answer your question to improve the leader's knowledge. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, the leader is or have the capability to learn more, okay, to pursue lifelong learning. Okay? Then next, number 7, empowering followers and encourages innovation. So empowering followers. Okay, when we say empowering followers, that means giving followers certain duties, okay, para maipakita nila yung kanilang potentials. Okay? So other term for that is delegation of authority, empowering, delegation of authority. Okay? So kapag binigyan ka ng authority ng iyong leader, so usually, ang response ng isang follower is to do their best in performing the in accomplishing the task that they are required to do given the delegated authority. And encourages innovation. When we say innovation, these are changes. Okay? Changes. So, what are these changes? So, when we say encourage innovation, it not only encourages changes, but it also encourages creativity. Okay? Ang ibig sabihin nun, ang iyong leader ay hindi lang, or that your leader does not live in a box. Okay? Hindi siya isang tao na nakakahon lang ang isipan. Kaya there are room for creativity. And as a leader, as your leader, so binibigyan ka niya ng leeway, ng pagkakataon, ng chance to be creative. Okay? As long as it produces good results, or even though hindi siya makapag-produce ng good results, so mananatiling open pa rin naman yung leader mo sa creativity na pwede mong i-contribute sa certain projects or sa buong organization as a whole. Okay? Then number 8, understands their people's expertise. So, kinakailangan ang isang leader, kilala niya ang lahat ng kanyang followers. Kilala in the sense na hindi sa sense na memorize na lahat ng pangalan ng kanyang followers, pati itsura nila. No. Kilala in terms of ano ba yung kakayahan ng nitong follower ko na ito. Ano ba yung kanyang strength and weaknesses? Okay? Saan ko ba siya pwedeng ilagay para maging effective at efficient siya sa trabaho, and so on. So understanding the follower's expertise is key to a successful achievement of common goals. Okay? And lastly, a leader should be a big picture thinker. Okay? So the leader should always be concerned with the big picture. Kailangan hindi siya nababother doon sa mga maliliit na detalye na wala namang bearing. Okay? Na walang magiging epekto sa final output. Okay? Let's say, in a particular project, nagkaroon ng aberya. Pero ito ng mga aberya na to, hindi siya makaka-apekto doon sa project mismo. Okay? Tutuloy-tuloy pa rin on schedule yung project. So, as a leader, what can you do? Or what will you do? Will you make a big deal out of that small aberya na wala namang bearing dun sa project? Or will you just remind, okay, the employees or your followers or your subordinates that are in charge in that aberya na it should be done this way, ganitong way, and you expect that it will not be repeated. Okay? So something like that. And not make a big deal out of that. So as a leader, what will you do? Of course, if you are a big picture thinker, so yes, you can let it slide. But of course, before letting it slide, okay, the people in charge of that aberya should know what you're feeling about the aberya. Okay? Na kailangan next time hindi na siya mauulit. Okay? So that are some of the characteristics of a leader. Bakit some? Kasi ang dami pa pwedeng characteristic ng isang leader. Diba? Na pwede tayong maglista hanggang alas 4. Ang dami natin pwedeng ilista ang characteristic ng isang leader. Nandiyan yung integrity, honesty, ang dami, pagiging trustworthiness, and so on. Okay? So do you have questions po ba? May question? Okay? So wala. Let us continue. So principles of leadership. So these principles of leadership, okay, are written or rewritten by Dave Anderson of Anderson Leadership Solutions. Okay, so number 1, know yourself and seek self-improvement. Okay, so a leader should know himself or herself and seek self-improvement. Diba? Kasi nga, the greatest enemy is not others but ourselves. So you are never or you will never do wrong growing as a leader kapag you seek self-improvement. And self-improvement is usually it is or natural na siya sa isang leader. Okay? Because a leader seeks self-growth. Then number 2, be technical and tactically proficient. Okay? Know your business. Kaya nga, doon sa characteristic niya, a leader is knowledgeable. Okay? Then seek responsibility and take responsibility for actions. Be accountable. kapag ang isang leader ay may accountability, okay, the more his subordinates or her subordinates will follow that leader. Okay? Kasi siya ay may paninindigan. Okay? Next is make sound and timely decisions. So meaning that the leader should make decisions in a manner that will not bring disaster to the organization. So kailangan ay decisive ang isang leader. Okay? When we say decisive, yan, the leader makes sound and timely decision. Pag decisive, it's either black or it's either white. Hindi pwedeng black and white. Okay? Then number 5, set the example. Why? Because more is caught than taught. Ano ibig sabihin ng more is caught than taught? Grabe, nakakautal. Ayun. Ibig sabihin lang yan that actions speak louder than words, or some people prefers to see certain things in order for them to learn that certain thing. Kaya nga, di ba, gusto nyo ng face-to-face classes, lalo na sa laboratory. Okay? So that you may see how certain procedures are done and you may perform them as you saw it performed to you. Okay? Then number 6. Ayan, know your people and look out with their well-being. Okay, sa characteristics, okay, nandun yan. Diba? Kailangan alam mo expertise na yung mga tao, and look out for their well-being. Kailangan empathetic ka. Okay? So, your followers, okay, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Totoo naman yan. Sa trabaho, hindi naman palaging sweldo lang ang pamantayan ng pag-i-stay ng isang employee sa isang company. Kadalasan, nag-i-stay ang isang empleyado sa company dahil sa relationship ng kanyang superior sa kanyang mga subordinates. If the superior is a good leader, okay, hindi siya iiwanan ng kanyang mga subordinates. Walang subordinates na magre-resign kahit na-offeran siya ng malaking halaga sa ibang company. Okay? So hindi lahat pera-pera. Okay, next. Keep your people well informed. Okay, so again, pasok pa rin yung characteristic that the leader should be articulate, at the same time, a good communicator or communication. Okay? Kailangan may good communication skills ang leader. So sabi dito, no team ever failed because of too much communication. Walang grupo na sumasablay dahil sa communication or sa too much communication. Instead, sumasablay ang isang organization dahil sa lack of communication, di ba? Kahit naman sa isang program, kung may lack of communication between the organizers, so magkakagulo-gulo. At ang magiging ending, hindi maganda yung activity. Okay? And the activity will become a failure. Then develop a sense of responsibility in your subordinates. Empowering your subordinates. Delegating them authority. So you are responsible for developing your people. Not only that, okay? Acknowledging their accomplishment also is part of that. Diba? Kasi if you are a leader, you are a jealous leader, an envious leader, hindi ka mag-develop ng sense of responsibility sa your subordinates. Hindi ka mag-train ng subordinates mo. And that is number 9. Train your people as a team. Hindi mo sila i-train as a team. Kasi gusto mo, ikaw lang yung mare-recognize. Okay. However, a leader is someone that trains people as a team. Okay? Establishing corporate culture is the leader's job. Halimbawa, if the leader feels that the corporate culture or the organizational culture is something that prevents the or their subordinates to become unproductive, then it is the job of the leader to bring about a much better atmosphere and culture sa trabaho. Okay? Then number 10, ensure the task is understood, supervised, and accomplished. Set a clear expectations of goals, then coach and hold people accountable. So sama-sama na dyan yung articulate your goals and purpose, and empowering your subordinates. Then number 11, employ your team in accordance with its strength and capabilities. So knowing your people pa rin. Okay? So put your people in the position to succeed. Okay, may question po ba? So far, may question? Wala naman, sure? Okay. So we now move to the history of leadership. Tribal era. So ito yung mga panahon na ang mga tao ay nabubuhay sa mga tribo-tribo or clans. Okay? So wala pa dito yung concept ng state or ng estado or ng mga bansa. Okay? So usually, there is a tribal leader. Diba? So that the role of the leader in the tribal era is a coordinator and a skilled expert. Bakit skilled expert? What does skilled expert means? Ibig sabihin, siya ay magaling na warrior, na hunter. Okay? Bakit? Because it is the time Ito yung panahon ng survival of the fittest and elimination of the weak. Okay? Ito yung application, ito yung panahon na na-apply pa sa mga tao yung law of nature. Okay? So, directive and task-oriented. Kung ano lang yung sasabihin or iuutos ng leader, yun yung ginagawa ng mga followers. Okay? Then, leaders were elected based on size, strength, and agility. Kasi nga, they need a leader who is a warrior and a hunter. Leadership is based on fear. Family leadership usually. Then, ito yung mga implications for the leaders. Survival skills rule, but social skills are a plus only. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin? Yung kakayahan para mag-survive. Ito yung number one na pamantayan para ang isang tao ay maging leader. Yung kanyang social skills ay additional lang. Plus pogi points na lang yun. Okay? Then, the follower's role is important for tribal success. Kasi kapag hindi sumunod yung mga followers sa dapat gawin, well, katapusada nung tribo nyo. Diba? So that is tribal era. Okay. So next, the pre-classical era. So concerned with spirituality, claimed divinity, death was feared, kings and queens are present, implications for leader, spiritually or magically endowed, male dominant, kings and church in collusion, even the state and the state and the church is in connivance with each other. Okay? Ano pa? Brutality and oppression can be justified. I mean, kapag ikaw ay mahirap, okay lang sa'yo na ikaw ay bugbugin at tapihin. Okay? Na nalulusutan ng mga mayayaman. Okay? Then implication for followers. Ang mga followers sa panahon na ito ay subservient, meaning yes master, yes master, yes master. Lagi silang yes. Masunurin sa kanilang mga amo. Okay, vessels to be filled with spiritual teachings or law. Okay, then subhuman treatment is accepted. And ito, follow because of or to fear. Ayun. Sumusunod ang mga followers gawa or dahilan dahil sa pagkatakot, okay? Or dahil ayaw na nilang maging o mabugbog o ma-oppress. Kaya siyempre, sinusunod na lang nila kung ano yung kagustuhan ng iba. That is for pre-classical era or what we call the medieval times. Next, classical era. So production at minimal costs, stability, workers are inefficient, okay? Do what it takes to get the job done. Wala akong pakialam kung anong gagawin mo. Basta dapat makatapos ka ng 16 na produkto sa araw na to. Okay? So that is what it means. Then, division of labor. Diyan na nag-umpisa yung division of labor. Organize, control, and command of in order to manipulate the result. And then, ano yung implication sa leaders? Production at all cost. Kailangan makapag-produce tayo ng produkto ano man ang kapalit. Labor is infinite. Okay. Ikaw manggagawa ka, sige lang, magtrabaho ka na magtrabaho dyan. Leaders lead and divide labor. Usually ang leader ay hands-on ng mga panahon ito. Sila ay mga sa mga industrial factories. And sila yung tagapag-utos. Okay? Then, implications of followers. Hard work expected and it builds character kuno. So, ina-expect ng mga leaders that the workers or the subordinates will work harder. Okay? Then chaos is the downfall of the policy-driven organization. Okay? And then no one is indispensable. Okay? Wala daw ni isa sa kanila ang importante sa negosyo. Or hindi importante ang mga workers. Then workers are considered lazy and inefficient. So yan yung implication for the followers. Then progressive era. The change game. Increased quality. So dyan na yung TQM and CQI. Okay? Then empowerment, nauuso na. Implication, stability is no longer the key. Change game, TQM, and re-engineering. Empowerment is the mantra. And when we say empowerment, ano ibig sabihin ng empowerment? Okay, ibig sabihin nito, ayun na, delegation of authority, etc. Okay? Collaboration means more power for follower. Everyone has a worth value. Okay, dito may value na lahat. Doon sa kanina, sa previous era, no one is indispensable. Walang importante. Okay? Then, intimate involvement with total organizational change. And needs met on management's term. So yan yung mga nangyayari or mga concepts regarding the progressive era. Okay. And now we proceed. Teka, may question ba regarding sa brief history? Di ba brief lang naman, maikli lang yun. Okay. May question? Anong question? Subhuman treatment. Subhuman, below human. Ibig sabihin, pwede kang ituring na hayop.
Small slave man.
Yes,
Slavery
yes,
pala.
yes. Yan.
Okay po, sir.
Di ba,
Thank you po.
sinabi nga pre-classical era ay ito yung panahon na tinatawag din nating medieval period or the ano pa yung ibang tawag nila? Ako nakalimutan ko. Yung something dark, yun, the Dark Ages.
Dark Ages po ba?
Yes, that's correct. The Dark Ages. Diba? Yan. Na talaga nga namang ang turing sa mga workers noong panahon na yun ay not as humans but properties. Okay? So, other questions? Okay, kung wala na, so puntahan natin yung some of the historical leaders. Okay. So, the first of the historical leaders na pinili ko ay si Alexander the Great. So, it is undoubtedly that Alexander the Great is one of the most known leaders throughout history. Diba? Ilan lang naman yung pangalan ng may the Great sa kanilang pangalan, di ba? And one of them is Alexander. Kasi siya ay teenager pa lang, nagka-conquer na siya ng mga states and kingdoms or civilization. And he almost conquer even Asia. Nakarating nga siya sa India. Doon nga lang, sa India na siya inabutan. Okay? So almost half of the world na-conquer ni Alexander the Great. Okay. So napakalaki nung kanyang nasakop. And yung influence niya as a leader. Kasi kung hindi siya magaling na leader, biruin mo yung mga members ng kanyang army. Ang members ng kanyang mga army. Okay, so number one, yung kanyang mga Macedonian army na umpisa pa lang sa unang taon pa lang ng kanyang pakipagdigma ay kasama na niya. And bukod doon, nandun din yung mga tao o sundalo ng mga races na kanyang nasakop, mga civilization na kanyang nasakop, Persia, Egypt, etc. ay naglingkod din sa kanyang army. Diba? So kung makikita mo yung kanyang sphere of influence, yung leadership, nandun. What kind of leadership nga lang ang ginamit ni Alexander? So, hindi natin totally mahuhusgahan kung ano yung leadership na kanyang ipinakita. Okay? So, of course, military yan. So, expect natin na more on military leadership ang meron. Pero hindi rin kasi there are times in the history or in the life of Alexander na nagpa-practice siya ng somehow being democratic, and sometimes nag-a-act siya as a dictator. Okay? So, medyo mahirap ang buhay ni Alexander. Then, of course, we have Julius Caesar. Okay. So, Julius Caesar is hindi siya yung first Roman emperor, okay? Because the first Roman emperor was Augustus Caesar, okay? Yung kanyang nephew or yung kanyang adopted son si Octavius. Anyhow, Julius Caesar is considered one of the best generals of Rome. Pinakita dito, isa sa mga best tactician si Julius Caesar. imagine sa isang labanan niya or doon sa German frontier, di ba? Sa battle, in the Battle of Alesia, Alesia ba o Alexia? Something like that. Na yung town, pinalibutan nila, and then, nung sila ay nakatanggap ng news na may paparating na reinforcement yung Germanic town, ang ginawa ni Julius Caesar, inutusan niya yung kanyang army na magtayo ng wall sa pagitan ng kanyang army at ng reinforcement army ng mga Germanic tribe. So, bukod dun sa wall ng town, may another wall pa yung dun sa bilang protection dun sa army ni Julius Caesar. And guess kung ano nangyari? Ang nangyari, well, manalo si Caesar. Hindi nakayanan ng mga tao sa Alexia, and nag-surrender sila, though umatake yung reinforcement army, pero natalo pa rin. Sumuko doon si, I forgot the name, kasi mahirap bigkasin. Yun, basta yun. And that proves that Caesar is one of the greatest leader of Rome. Okay? Okay. So another one is Shi Huangdi. Okay? Shi Huangdi is the first emperor of the United China. Okay? So siya ay isa sa mga duke nung Warring State period ng China. Siya ay king ng Qin, state of Qin. Okay? And sinakop niya yung ibang states para pag-isahin ang buong lupain ng na sinasakupan ng 8 states at tinawag niya itong China from the state of Qin. Okay? So, napakagaling na tactician and leader to si Shi Huangdi kasi he encourages those people na may talent, lahat ng may talent or talented people kahit na they are from other states. Ano ba yung mga kalaban niyang states? Ang isa sa pinaka-rival niyang states ay yung state ng Chu. Yan. Chu yung isa sa pinakamalaking states before. And ayun, natalon ni Qin Sheng yung mga states na yan. And hindi yan basta-basta madaling gawin kasi it took several years to accomplish the unification of China. Okay? Then, of course, sino ba din nakakakilala kay Genghis Khan? Okay? Siya ang founder at first great Khan ng Mongol Empire. And the Mongol Empire almost conquer the whole of Europe. Almost, di ba? Some of the members ng Mongol Empire nagpunta ng Africa. Iba na natili sa Asia. Then some of them ay nasa Europe noong mga panahon niyo. Pero syempre, that time, Genghis Khan is already dead. But through the vision Yung vision kasi ni Genghis Khan ay pinagpatuloy ng kanyang mga descendants. And yung leadership ni Genghis Khan ay makikita nyo doon sa kanyang buhay mismo. If you know the story, his life story, you will know that indeed Genghis Khan is a very capable leader. Kasi siya ay anak ng isang tribal leader or tribal lord. And then ang nangyari, yung kanilang clan pinatay ng rival clan. Pero nabuhay sila, saka yung mother niya may takas. And then meron siyang childhood sweetheart at namuhay sila doon. And from then, nag-umpisa siya na mag-gather ng army in order to take revenge for his father and his clan. At pagkatapos nun, sinubukan niyang i-unite yung mga clans ng mga Mongol clans and then form the Mongol Empire. Sinakop na nila yung mga kingdom sa kapatagan. Okay? Kasi sila ay galing sa steppe, sa desert. Okay, so these are the historical leaders. And punta natin yung huling leader na pinili ko, which is Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay? So, siya ay may title na Emperor of France, King of Italy, Mediator of the Swiss Confederation, Protector of the Confederation of the Rhine, and Co-Prince of Andorra. Well, kung alam niyo rin yung kwento ni Bonaparte, very capable leader, maliit na tao, but yung charisma nandyan. Bonaparte is a charismatic leader. Okay? And yung kanyang mga traits and skills din. Actually, Bonaparte is binanggit siya dun sa great men theory of leadership. So later, explain natin kung ano ba yung great men theory of leadership. Okay? At sa mga modern to hindi ko napalitan. Baliktad sila ni Bonaparte. Okay. Modern. So ito si Mahatma Gandhi. Though patay na siya, history na siya, pero later history na. Kaya considered siya modern. Si Mahatma Gandhi is a leader in India that opposes the English Empire, yung pagsakop nila sa India. So nagpo-protest siya using silent, peaceful means, diba? Fasting, etc. And yan, naging successful naman yung ginawa ni Gandhi, and after several years, na-liberate ang India, umalis ang mga British sa India. Of course, so kilala niyo to? Kilala niyo ba ito? So another modern leader is the Dalai Lama. Okay? So the Dalai Lama is the spiritual leader of Tibet. Actually, hindi lang siya spiritual leader. He is the considered head ng Tibet. Political leader also ng Tibet. Siyempre siya ay exiled. He lives in exile. Okay? And ang alam ko ay sa India, doon siya nakatira. Kinupkup siya ng India. Okay? So, he inspires a lot of people. Yung kanyang mga teachings are not only applicable to uh, the teachings of Buddhism, but also to practitioners of other religion. Okay? And he is a leader that influences a lot of people. Hindi lang yung mga Tibetan people ang na-influensyan niya, kundi other people as well. Okay? Yung ginagawa siyang model. Hindi yan historical, again modern yan. Okay? So this one, kilala niyo ba siya? Kung napanood niyo yung pelikulang Invictus, then you know who the person is. So sabi dito, siya ang kauna-unahang black head of state ng South Africa. Bakit siya kauna-unahan? Kasi yung mga head of state ng South Africa before are French. Diba? Puti. Puti. Because South Africa is a colony of France. At yung mga puti na hindi umalis doon, okay? Nung niliberate na yung, or binigyan ng independence yung South Africa, sila ay naging South Africans. So South Africa, either dalawa yung kulay nila, o dalawa yung kulay ng tao, may mga black people and white people. And both of them are South Africans. At itong taong ito, ang kauna-unahang naging head or black head ng South Africa sa pamamagitan ng kauna-unahang election, democratic election sa kasaysayan ng South Africa. Okay? And this person is Nelson Mandela. Okay? So, ang alam ko, si Nelson Mandela ay naging, I think, president ng United Nations before. So, after niya maging head ng South Africa, naging head siya ng United Nations. Okay? So, that is Nelson Mandela. Okay? So, yung pinagdaanan ni Nelson Mandela, halos the same na pinagdaanan ni Gandhi. Nakulong sila parehas. Okay? Though, itong si Mandela ay nabuhay, nakamtan niya yung goal, okay, na magkaroon ng leader, yung kanilang bansa ng leader na isang black person. At siya nga yung naging kauna-unahang black head of state ng South Africa. Pero hindi biro yung pagiging presidente niya. Kasi he have to deal with both the white and black community. At noong panahon ni Nelson Mandela as president ng South Africa, malaki pa rin ang impluensya ng white South Africans. Okay? Kaya mahirap yung naging position ni Nelson Mandela. Okay, now we will proceed to the theories and approaches of leadership. So this one is the great man theory. So this was first discussed in the term, and this theory was coined by Thomas Carlyle, okay, in 1847. So sabi dito, ang main idea, leaders are not born. Baliktad. Leaders are born and not made. Okay? And leaders or leadership characteristics are genetic. So one can assume leadership if the father have leadership characteristics. Then the son will have leadership characteristics as well. So in a time of need, these heroic great men with this innate leadership characteristics would emerge magically and lead. So yan yung isa sa theory ng leadership na naging popular during the 19th century. So yun nga, sabi ni Carlyle, hindi daw, leaders are born. So, hindi ka pwede maging leader kung ikaw ay hindi descendant ng isang leader. Okay. So that's what the great man theory means. So example, kaya tinawag kasi na great man theory kasi throughout the history daw, ang mga nagiging leader ay mga great men. Okay? Mga great men. Katulad ng mga pinakita ko sa inyo pictures sa historical, yung mga historical leaders, di ba? They are great men by their own right. So, ibig sabihin, hindi daw sila basta-basta naging leader. Naging leader sila kasi they are descendants of leaders or people who have leadership characteristics. Kasi nga, ina-assume ni Carlyle na hereditary ang leadership. Or yung leadership characteristics ay hereditary. Okay? So actually, the great man theory, meron siyang 6 na leadership roles. Merong divine, priest, king, healer, and nakalimutan ko yung dalawa. Okay? So, according to this theory, ang bawat leader daw pumipili ng role. Pumipili sila ng role. So, example, kinonsider ni Carlyle si Martin Luther as a leader. Though si Martin Luther ay nag-spark ng revolution, ng religious revolution. Nonetheless, he was considered a leader by Carlyle. At ang role niya ay priestly role. Okay? So, other leaders ay kingly yung role. Like Napoleon Bonaparte, ang kanyang role ay kingly. Others naman, both divine and kingly. So example ng both divine and kingly, yung first emperor of United China, si Shi Huangdi. Dahil sabi niya, he is the son of heaven. Okay, so therefore, if he is the son of heaven, he is a god. He is a divinity. So, ang kanyang role ay both divine and king. So, yan, may mga roles sa great man theory. And, if susundan natin yung theory ni Carlyle, so walang ibang pwede maging leader kung hindi yung mga descendant nitong mga tao, nitong mga great men na ito. Kung ikaw, ang apelyido mo ay Mendoza o Punong Bayan, eh, wala ka namang leader o wala ka namang ninunod na leader, so paano na? Hindi ka pwede maging leader. Diba? Eh kung halimbawa, ang apelyido mo ay mga Bonifacio, Rizal, Aguinaldo, Kagingin, ayan. Well, may genetic
Mercurio.
Mercurio. Di ba? May genetic characteristic tayo ng leader. So, pwede tayo maging leader, pero kung hindi kagiging ng apelyido mo, paano na? Hindi ka pwede maging leader. So, yan yung according sa theory ni Carlyle, ni Thomas Carlyle, the Great Man Theory. Okay? So, may question po kaya sa Great Man Theory? May question po? Okay? So, wala. So, we proceed to another theory. So, the trait theory. Okay. So, the trait theory, okay, this is a product of the first research conducted on leadership. Okay? So, dito naman, sinasabi that natural-born leaders possesses certain physical traits and personality characteristics that differentiate them from non-leaders. So again, leaders are born, not made. Di ba? Kasi natural-born leaders eh. So research was conducted on those soldiers that emerged during World War I as leaders. So those with certain traits are predisposed to being a leader. Example, hair color, weight, height, IQ, and other things. So kapag daw you are in possession of these certain traits, well, you are a leader. Pero kung wala ka ng kahit isa sa mga traits na yan, so hindi ka pwede maging leader, ganun. So paano kung ang weight lang 75 kilos? Paano ako? Lampas ako 100. Hindi ako pwede maging leader. Diba? So trait theory, nakabase sa mga certain traits, specific traits, ang pagiging leader. So doon sa kanina, nakabase sa ninuno, kung ikaw ay may ninuno na great man, dito naman sa isa, nakabase sa mga katangian, either physical or personality. Okay, so major leadership traits na tinitingnan, bukod doon sa physical traits. Okay, so intelligence. Tinitingnan ko ikaw ba ay may sapat na intelligence. Siyempre, paano ka magiging leader kung ang intelligence mo ay mas mababa pa sa followers mo. Diba? So having a strong verbal ability, perceptual ability, and reasoning appears to make one a better leader. That is according to the traits theory. So hindi ko sinasabi na porke mababa ang iyong IQ compared sa followers mo, hindi ka pwedeng maging leader. Hindi ka qualified maging leader. Sinasabi ko lang na this is according to the traits theory. Okay. Then, next, self-confidence. So, sabi sa traits theory, kailangan may self-confidence ang isang leader. Kasi kung wala, well, paano niya ma-influensyahan yung ibang tao? Diba? So, dapat nandyan yung presence ng self-confidence. Kailangan din may determination ang isang leader or ang isang tao to become a leader. So, determination. Okay? So, yung willingness to assert themselves. Okay? And persevere in hardship and challenges. So, that is determination. So, isa daw yan sa traits na tinitingnan kung ikaw ay isang leader or hindi. Then integrity. Okay? So, a leader must have integrity daw. Okay? Because it inspires confidence sa ibang tao. Okay? Not only confidence but trust as well. So basically, integrity makes the leader believable and trustworthy of the trust of his or her followers. And then, last, dun sa mga major leadership traits ay sociability. So sociability means being friendly, outgoing, courteous, tactful, diplomatic. Eh paano kung hindi ka naman friendly, hindi ka rin naman masungit, pero nakapinta sa mukha mo na mukha kang masungit? Ano yun? Or hindi ka outgoing, introvert ka. So hindi ka na pwede maging leader. Okay? So again, these are just theories. Diba? When we say theories, they are not 100% proven. Kasi hindi pa sila law. Kapag law na sila, then it is already proven by science. Okay? So yan yung ilan sa mga major traits ng leadership according to the trait theory. And the last theory that we will be discussing is the transformational leadership. Okay, so transformational leadership theory. So this stimulates and inspires followers to achieve extraordinary outcomes, and in the process, develop their own leadership capacity. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin nito? Ang ibig sabihin ng transformational leadership theory that all people can become a leader. Okay? So the leader can develop or inspire any of his or her follower to become a leader also. So lahat pwede maging leader. Transformational leadership. Magtra-transform ang isang individual para maging leader. Okay? So respond to individual followers' needs by empowering them. Okay, so transformational leadership theory is one of the modern theory of leadership. Okay? Then align the objectives and goals of followers, leading followers to the experience or to experience higher level of performance, satisfaction, and commitment to the organization. So example nito, diba? If you are a leader, so kapag pinakita mo sa iyong mga subordinates that you are committed to your goals, to the organization, okay? And not only that, that you are concerned with the well-being of your followers, diba? You will be able to inspire your followers to do things with extra mile, for an extra mile. Diba? Okay. Ano ba yung extra mile? Ibig sabihin, kung ang trabaho niya ay photocopy lang, so dahil satisfied siya sa organization, masaya siya, dahil mabait yung boss niya, wala siyang problema sa opisina, okay? Pinagkakatiwalaan siya ng mga kasama niya. So, yung mga pinapotocopy niya, pwede niyang i-distribute dun sa mga colleagues niya kahit hindi siya inutusan. That is going an extra mile. Okay? So, kung ano yung inutos, yung iba kasi kung ano yung inutos, yun lang yung kanyang Yun lang kanyang gagawin. So, halimbawa, sabi sa'yo ng boss mo, okay, you do a plan of activities for this activity. Okay. You do one plan. Okay. So, kung ang boss mo ay hindi karapat-dapat ng extra mile, so gagawin mo lang kung ano yung hinihingi sa'yo. Pero if your boss is a good leader na embody ng transformational leadership, okay? So bukod dun sa plan na ginawa mo, okay, sa inutos na isang plan, nag-prepare ka rin ng alternative or contingency plan. So that is already an extra mile. Okay? So they are able to inspire followers and can see the future and guide people towards the future. So they have the gift of foresight. They are visionaries and innovators. Okay? And again, sa transformational leadership, okay, ang mantra, lahat pwede maging leaders. Okay? All can be a leader. Okay? In transformational leadership, the leader, okay, inspire and stimulate their followers to achieve extraordinary goals, okay, and develop their own leadership capacity. Okay? May question po ba?
Tanong po.
Yes po. May tanong ba o wala? Ano ba yun? Ano sabi mo? May tanong po?
Wala po. Wala po yung tanong, sir.
Pakirinig ko kasi may tanong po. Okay, so wala. So that ends my lecture for today. Okay? Thank you for listening. Okay? So